4.5 years of planning. So Ranulph told me yesterday that 4.5 years ago he and one of his fellow adventurers had the idea to try and do this, and at that point they said, right, we'll need permission from the Foreign Office to get down to Antarctica and to get across during the polar winter, something that nobody has done before. He said 10 days ago they got that permission from the Foreign Office. It's taken that long to put together this huge logistical effort. On board that ship that you're looking at the moment is a large amount of equipment and supplies, because as part of getting the permission to go there, they needed to be self-sufficient. So they're taking 2 bulldozers, dragging 3 large sleds with 2 containers on board that will be their living quarters, and also 1 container on board that will be their science lab, and then they're pulling all the fuel with them. And Saran and a colleague will ski the 2,000 miles, over 4,000 kilometres, all the way across Antarctica. The aim to do this during the Antarctic winter, so near permanent darkness while they do it. And as we've been saying all day, temperatures have been recorded during the Antarctic winter as low as -90 degrees Celsius.
And just guide us through the timetable, because we're talking obviously about the Antarctic winter. At the moment, Antarctica is enjoying, if that's the right word, its summer. So we've got some months before this is getting underway for real.
Right, so 6-7 weeks roughly to get down to Antarctica. In 6 or 7 weeks' time, that ship will be pushing through the sea ice off Antarctica and then trying to find a suitable mooring point on the continental ice shelf just next to it. As the commander of the expedition in terms of the ship is concerned, Anton Bowring was saying to me, he's accompanied Saran on many of his previous expeditions, he was saying earlier to me that it's not a matter of turning up obviously dockside like they did here in London. It is a matter of pushing into the continental ice shelf, finding a place that they can secure themselves onto as a ship, and also where this great crane that's on board the SA Argulus will then be able to lift up the equipment that I've mentioned and put it onto the ice. They need to find somewhere where the ice cliffs are low enough to enable them to do that, and sometimes you simply can't find these places. So that happens in 6 weeks' time, mid-January. Takes about a week to unload everything onto the ice. The ship will then head off, leaving Saran and his 5 other fellow adventurers on the ice to do their preparations, put some stores in certain places on parts of the route. They'll explore parts of the route, and then they have to wait until the equinox, March the 21st, when the Antarctic winter begins, the southern hemisphere winter begins. That's when they can set off. They aim to spend about 80 days or so getting to the South Pole, another 60 to get to the other side of Antarctica, onto the Ross Ice Shelf and over to the edge there, so that before September the 21st, the end of the southern hemisphere winter, they've managed to do it. So they have a 6-month window in which to make this world record attempt.